All right, so we're going to list all the possible rational zeros of this function. Remember, P is going to be the factors of the constant term. In this case, what is my constant term? The 3. All right, no, we don't have to worry about the negative here. So tell me, what are the factors of 3?
1 and 3.
Okay, now, we are going to put plus or minus 1 and plus or minus 3 then, because 3 is divisible by a positive 1 and a negative 1, correct? And a positive 3 and a negative 3 evenly. All right, Q is going to be the factors of the leading coefficient. So what number is my leading coefficient? 4. And what are the factors of 4? Well, first, start with your smallest number. It's divisible by 1, correct? And then 2. Is it divisible by 3? And then 4. All right, so those are my possible P's and my possible Q's. Or these are my P's and Q's. Now, to find the possible rational zeros, we're going to take all of our P's and we're going to divide them by all of our Q's. So to do this, you need to find some type of a pattern that you want to use. Personally, I take like my first P and I put it over every one of my Q's. And then I go to my second P and I put it over every one of my Q's. And I keep going until I'm out of P's. Some people like to do the opposite. They take all their Q's and they take both of their P's over the first Q. Both of the P's then over the second Q. Doesn't matter, you need to pick some type of pattern. Whatever works for you. So let's take our first P here, the plus or minus 1, and let's divide it by every Q. So what's 1 divided by 1?
1.
So we're going to put plus or minus 1. What's that P, that's 1, now divided by my second Q, the 2. What's 1 divided by 2? 1/2. So plus or minus 1/2. All right, same P divided by, now my Q that's 4. What's 1 divided by 4? So we're going to put plus or minus 1/4. Now we've used all of our Q's with that one P, didn't we? So now I'm going to switch to my next P. So I'm going to take this plus or minus 3. So I'm going to divide it by every Q. So 3 divided by 1 is?
3.
So plus or minus 3. And then take it divided by your next Q. So 3 divided by 2 is?
3 divided by 2.
Good. And then take that P that's 3 divided by that last Q. So 3 divided by 4 is? 3 over 4. I've used all of my P's, correct?
Yes.
So that way I know I've got everything written down. These are all of my possible rational zeros. Doesn't mean that they're all going to work, but if this polynomial has a zero that is rational, it's in that list. So here it didn't ask me for which ones worked, it just said list the possible ones. So there's all of our possible ones.